It's an off-the-record kind of voyage, but you guys managed to convince him to grant passage southwards. I can't remember the details of that. The deal that was struck. I'll need to try and figure out what that was. But
I think we
I
had
know
to give him some collateral.
there was collateral, wasn't there? Yeah.
There was collateral, and I also told him I could make him walk on water.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. Cool. I just wasn't sure if there's coins as well, but I don't remember. We can check that. But either way, they've taken a couple of things. I think it was the crossbow and something else. So that's fine. And then when you guys were deciding, like, right, we're gonna take the ship, but they were leaving, fairly soon, within the hour. So you went back up to the Twisted Dolphin to collect Fabia. She'd been waiting there. And that's when your old friends Lena and Yatin returned into town. They had been out hunting the Bullet creatures that had been suspected that they had been causing trouble with the kind of the build up to the festival. There's a few incidents, and Yatin and Lena had set out to solve the problem before the festival had begun. They were severely injured, but they had managed to kill one, and they had dragged it back into town. But you haven't spoken to Hacker, who was the new captain of the guard. He was pretty sure that what they had killed was only a calf and not full size, whereas some of the evidence from the scenes suggested like a larger adult bullet. So it suggested that there was more to it than that one that they had killed. But yeah, Latin and Yen are seriously injured, and they were both alive when you left them, but pretty sorry state. But there's a decision to be made, and it was stay and try and deal with the town's problems leading up to the festival and stay for the festival itself, or get the ship going southwards. And staying for one meant missing the other. And it was decided eventually that you would catch passage on the ship, the Albatross, and head south. And we left last session, you guys heading down towards the docks to get out to the boat.
Can you remind me when we slept? Because I'd got it in my head we hadn't slept, but I still have some spell slots on my sheet, so I'm assuming we have at some point.
I was trying to think of this as well. So you guys, way back, you killed all the goblins, then you went back to town,
and then got the boat with Wiccan.
And then you got the boat with
I think
Wiccan.
the first thing we did when we got to Grey Point was sleep.
I think we slept through the day.
Yeah,
we slept through the day and then went out at night.
That's right. You arrived first thing in the morning, and then you travelled down to the docks. That's right. Because the ship's leaving at like midnight or something in the night. So you're fully rested for the first time in a long time, and you're all your spell slots back, all your hit points back. I don't think you've used anything since.
I've used a lot of spells, but no hit points.
Okay. So maybe like some healing and stuff, probably from. But yeah, so the idea at this point is to catch the ship, which is a bit dodgy, that it's off the records, off the charts. It's heading south, so that's where you want it to be heading. You're heading for, if you go down here, you're heading to Cala, this kind of southernmost city on the Green Coast, and you're hoping to stop in there on your way down, because Soren may be seeking answers that could help safeguard the future of their people effectively. There's some strange goings-ons with trees and things like that, and they're hoping there's a druid in Khaled that could help them. So, any questions with all that, or is that all okay? No, okay.
I don't think.
Good. Cool. Okay. So, if it's okay with you guys, what I was thinking was that you get down to the docks and you, unless you had another plan, but I was just imagining that you would fairly easily be able to get the, get a rowboat from somewhere. There's probably some kicking around. Perhaps even the new harbour master would be able to help you out with that. I forget his name. He was a halfling. I'll find it somewhere, but either way, you managed to just get a little boat, and the four of you can row out to the ship. They'd explained where the ship would be, just kind of out onto the ocean a little bit, around the corner, like kind of out of sight of the city. So you guys would have been able to sail out there and find it no problem at all, if that sounds okay.
Sounds good to me.
No problem at all. Sounds good to me.
Good. Okay, so we'll start the session then with you guys kind of pulling up close to the ship. It's kind of looming in the darkness. All the kind of lanterns are dimmed, and you can, as you kind of get closer and kind of secure your boat to the ship, there's a kind of rope ladders tossed down, and if you look up, you see just the kind of at least half a dozen crossbows aimed down towards you.
I go up the rope ladder, and I try to make some small talk while I do it, like talk about the weather or something. Like, "Hey guys, what's up? Man, this that shower we had earlier today, right?"
It's just like a silence. One guy like spits over the side, just into the water, but they don't take you up on the chat.
I follow him up pretty quickly. I want to get out this little rowboat.
Yeah. Fabia follows Soren.
And Atlee drifts off to sea,
See you guys later.
quietly in the rowboat, never to be seen or heard from again. You with us, Atlee?
Are you there?
Sorry?
Oh, yeah. Just waiting to see if Atlee follows.
Oh yeah.
If Karthus follows, sorry.
Yeah, I guess it is sort of sorry. It's been trying to find the character sheet, but I find it difficulty, so I thought that would be a banana computer thing. Sorry about this.
That's okay. We're probably maybe speaking too soon, but we might not need the character sheets at all. It's probably just going to be a bit of a
Okay.
roleplay session. Well, we'll see. See how things go.
Yeah, depends on how much I need to know the deception skill, I guess.
Yeah.
Or how much you drink, you might need a constitution save.
As well. Okay, so you guys make your way up. There's nobody there to give you they don't help you up or anything like that. It's just you're made to kind of help yourselves up.
Soren puts an arm over the side and hauls Fabia and Karthus over, and then just sort of plops himself on the deck, just sits cross-legged.
Yeah. So as soon as you guys are up,
I think Errol would help, Karthus and stuff get over the side.
Sorry?
We were just saying we were helping you get over the side into the boat, that's all.
Right. I'll quickly figure out that one. Yeah, I guess he would meekly tried to pull himself out, but kind of, and take the assist as without really acknowledging it.
Okay. As you kind of get up, you see kind of most of the guys are wearing like kind of dark clothes, dark cloaks, and there's like a nod from one of the figures that's been pointing the crossbow, and all the crossbows are kind of disarmed, and the guys that were there kind of scatter and do their own thing, and then there's a kind of one of the guys goes up to the. Oh, I should have done my research, but that bit where the ship's wheel is, whatever that's called, he goes up there, and if you follow him, if you follow where he's going, you see that he's going up to the wheel, and the captain, the young man Barnett Glynn, is up there, and kind of just watching you guys. And when he sees that you're all there, and that you are, the right people, he kind of calls out a few orders, kind of in like stage whisper kind of thing, and the guys kind of like very kind of professional unit kind of move out and start to unfurl sails and haul the anchor up and things like that, and the ship starts to kind of shift off into the night.
Do you think they're going to die?
Sorry.
Like they know what they're doing. And Errol would probably just kind of lean back against some railing or something and look around.
I think Carter should just kind of try to sit down with his back against some of the wooden walls or something.
And Soren, like, still cross-legged on the deck. He says again, have we left them to die?
I don't think so. It's not really our responsibility either, yeah?
I don't know.
Not the responsibility per se, but nice to keep up a reputation.
I don't know.
Soren, you worry too much.
That, my young friend.
When manure explosion happens in Gray Point or Eagle's Rest? No, it's not. Not our circus, not our monkeys.
I'm used to keeping people safe. That's all. That's all I've done for.
And that's what we're on our way to do right now.
Yeah, I know. Should I find out if they're dead?
I was going to say, as you say that, we can see like Karthos and Soren kind of sitting back against the railing, and it's just kind of dark in the background. But as he says, I know, there's just like an explosion, a kind of small explosion in the distance of like blue like light, and then like red light and sparkles. And those of you who've seen them before would know that some kind of fireworks of the festival has begun. And you can like see the light exploding, and then a few seconds later the sound reaches you guys. And you see that the light like kind of illuminates Fabia's face, and she's kind of teary-eyed, just watching the town. Yeah.
These bullets, do they explode like that? Are they shooting something?
I assumed like
That's in
this-
character. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think the city guys would know straight away that what those are, what the fireworks are.
Well, if they're celebrating, then that means they're not dead. It's a good
It's
start.
totally fine. We need to stop worrying, Soren. We're good. And even if we weren't good, it doesn't matter anymore. We're on this boat. There's nothing we can do.
True. True, I suppose. Still.
That's the end, though. This was probably the last place that is I ever felt safe at.
Yeah. It's still hard for me to feel safe on one of these. And Soren kind of sticks the heel of his boot into the deck a couple times, like thunk, thunk. As if he's just testing if it's sturdy or if it's gonna sink. You alright, Fabia?
She kind of like snaps her attention to you, as if she's just kind of in a daze. That she kind of like puts a smile on her face and blinks away the tears in her eyes, and just kind of just nods and smiles, and says, "We've been meaning to make this journey a long time, and we've waited a long time. I'm glad we're going south." And she's kind of still looking towards the town, but obviously torn.
Do you think it would be better for us to know? Soren asks Fabia.
How can you do that? How can you know?
Sometimes I can see things. Only a short way away, though. I can't wait for us to be halfway to Kala. If it would ease your mind to know, then
Yeah, she nods and kind of moves over to stand beside you in the railing, kind of looking out back towards the town. Says, "Yeah, I would rather know if they're okay. Then I'd like to know that."
okay. So Soren's gonna leave it as long as he can, but the range
Okay.
on this spell is a mile.
Okay.
So he's gonna leave it until we're, a kilometer away or something.
Sure. Okay.
And yeah, and then I'm gonna cast clairvoyance, which means that I can designate somewhere that I've seen before, or an obvious place that I know, and I can either see there or hear there for 10 minutes, and I can swap between them as an action. So I'm going to choose the square.
Cool. Yeah. Scalar square, I think it's called. You choose seeing or hearing.
I'm going to do seeing, and I'm going to sit like on top of the fountain. And there was a fountain in the square, right?
There was, yeah.
And I'm going to sit on top of it as my orb.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So time passes on the ship as you move move southwards. Nobody kind of like comes and greets you or anything like that. You're just there. One guy kind of like moves and like gives Karthos like a bit of a, not like a kick, but like a nudge to like, because he needs to get to one of the ropes that's nearby, and Karthos is kind of in the way.
Of course, the sense of the before strike at the nearest spot he guesses he's nodding away.
Yeah, you just kind of you don't get like a nod of appreciation or anything like that. It's just like as you're kind of watching them and with this interaction, you see like they seem like the very kind of professional unit. They're like each guy knows his job and they're going about it quickly and quietly, like they've done it 100 times. Kind of leaving town on the quiet. And yeah, it seems from what you saw of the pirates on the Black Bounty, just seems they seem all a lot more kind of professional. I keep using that word, but yeah, they just seem a bit more less chaotic, more ordered. Disciplined, yes, that's a good word for it. So you get that sense just from watching them work and move around the ship.
Yeah, and Errol would kind of take note of this because Errol's probably been on a couple of ships in his time since his father's a merchant, and he'd kind of like whisper to Karthos and be like, "This is how a ship should work."
Karthos nods.
He'd probably Errol would like point out a couple of like specific people, like him over there. He's looking out for whatever, a kraken or whatever, and that guy over there he's tying up the string rope shoe tie style and blah 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 blah. Just kind of throw out some terms and stuff to make myself look smart.
Karthos nods.
What did you say?
He said Karthos politely nods.
He keeps drinking. I'm sure.
To pass the time, Sorin asks Errol what different bits of the boat are. Like he just like points at stuff and it's like, what's that?
And Errol's not like a boat guy by any means, but Errol will like give him answers even if they're not technically the correct answer. But he kind of knows what boat parts sound like, so he'll just like say, "Oh yeah, that's the starboard plank, and that's the whipple rope right there that connects to the bysail." And just kind of like throw out shit that like isn't probably true, but sounds like it could be true.
Yeah, I can imagine the actual crew are just kind of they shake their head when they hear that conversation, but they don't again they don't interact in a kind of bantery way or anything. But that passes the time as you guys just hang around on the deck for a while as you drift southwards. You kind of sense that they go kind of further from land first, and then start moving south, kind of southwest. Yeah. Soren casts his spell when he feels like the distance is about right. We will just kind of gloss over the material components.
Is there material components?
Yeah, I think we can just ignore it though. It's just like
focus worth at least 100 gold piece.
Yeah.
Oh,
glass eye or something, but that's okay. We can assume you've got that. Let's just say, like, for this sort of thing, I was thinking if we could just assume you've got one for the first time you cast it, and then try and replenish it for the next time, if you know what I mean. So,
I mean, it's not used up by the spell.
It's not used up. Okay. You just use it. Okay, I see what you mean. It's just a focus. Got it. Cool. Okay, well, let's just say you've got it.
I did take time to prepare the spell, so I suppose at the same time as doing that, I've got the gold, so I went and found a expensive shop in Grey Point that has such things.
Absolutely be something that would sell yeah, like a glass eye. Sailors need glass eyes. They lose eyes all the time. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, they've always got eye patches. So yeah, you've got a glass eye. You cast a spell. Do you wanna explain that or?
Yeah, so he stays seated cross-legged, and he puts the glass eye like between his fingers, but of like both hands, sort of, yeah, holds it between all 10 of his fingers, sort of thing, and then he sort of closes his eyes, but looks like he's sort of behind his eyelids. He's staring really intently at the glass ball, and then he lets go of it with his fingers, and it just sort of stays hovering in the air between his hands, and he leaves his hands there, and is now blind and can see in the square.
Awesome. So immediately, he can still kind of hear the sounds of the ship around him, but what he sees is the scalar square and grave point, and it's just kind of like an explosion of like lights and like colors and things like that. So he sees the market kind of stalls all set up for the festival. He sees kind of a good crowd of people gathered. Evidently, kind of Bethwyn's done her job in just convincing people that it's okay, that there's not going to be any trouble, and that they should all come out and enjoy the well-earned kind of festival that the town's been needing for a while. And yeah, you see kind of at the stage at one side, there's a kind of group of look like gnomes. They're kind of setting off these kind of to Soren, it would just look like strange kind of cylindrical, kind of wooden, brightly colored tubes. They kind of light them on fire, and there's a few sparks, and then an explosion upwards. And you kind of, I'm assuming you can like you can like manipulate what the eye looks at a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of imagining it's like my eyes. I can look around.
Yeah, you just kind of follow this firework up into the sky, and it just kind of balloons out above you.
Silently.
And yes, completely silently, yeah. And you, kind of a few seconds later, you hear the sound from the boat. And yeah, it's a pretty cool scene. I mean, this sort of thing is a lot of fun, a lot of kind of happy faces, a lot of kind of drinking and eating and merriment. You see the Twisted Dolphin kind of at one end of the square. Its kind of doors look like they're closed. There's lights on inside, but you can probably imagine that there's Yatin and Lena are perhaps still in there recovering. Kind of a bit more of a grim scene. If you look at the ground, you see the trail of blood that they left as they returned is there. It's kind of been hastily like tried to be kind of swept up with kind of bits of dry bits of hay and things to try and mask it, but you can kind of you spot the dark red kind of stain even like just in the torchlight. And do you continue to watch for a while?
Yes, I get 10 minutes.
You get 10 minutes, yeah. Okay. So after a few minutes, the noise again. You're not hearing the noise until a few seconds later, and it's just kind of very faint. But you're seeing the source of it right there. And eventually, your vision begins to kind of blur, and it's a bit strange. Like it just kind of for a second it kind of shivers for a bit, and it goes a bit blurry, and it kind of returns to normal. And you see folk like kind of looking around, those that aren't too far into their drinks to realize something, are kind of looking around at each other, and then it kind of happens again. And there's another kind of shiver, and your vision blurs.
I go sound.
And you go sound, okay. So you hear kind of you immediately go black, and you don't see anything, and you hear kind of the music's kind of still playing. There's some music going. There's another blast of fireworks above your head. It's really loud, and like when you kind of go from the kind of covert kind of ship, it's the creaking of the wood, and then you switch immediately to the festival noise. There's music and laughing, and there's a few like murmurs and whispers, and you know, what's that? What was that kind of? Did you feel that kind of discussions? And if you stay on sound for a little bit longer, there's another kind of this kind of deep, like grumbling, kind of earth moving kind of noise. You hear like a pile of plates like rattling, like some glasses kind of clattering together, and one falls off and smashes, kind of coming from around the market area. This time it seems to be kind of going on for a bit longer. This is kind of that grinding stone kind of sound. And when it kind of stops, you hear the music stopped, and the fireworks have kind of stopped. And there's kind of the murmurs are kind of just kind of they kind of pick up, and there's no kind of voices kind of raising above anyone else. It's kind of just all kind of low level murmur. And you kind of there's like a tense few seconds, and then it kind of comes again and builds up and builds up. And the kind of rumbling intensifies. And it's like the sort of sound you can almost like feel rather than hear. So it's a strange sensation that you're not being there. And eventually there's it kind of intensifies. You hear people start to like scream a little bit and start to run around, kind of things are getting knocked over. And soon there's like just this like an explosion, like a kind of more like deeper, more bass explosion than the kind of high-pitched fireworks. And you hear kind of rock breaking and yeah, kind of wood snapping and strings like snapping, and obviously screams on the back of that.
I go sight there.
And you go sight, and the sound completely shuts off again. You think very faintly in the distance you can hear a rumbling, but you're not sure if it's just kind of a memory of the sound. But you see a scene of just a cloud of like dust and dirt, kind of like engulfing like the torchlight that kind of fills the square. And there's just kind of, you see as it starts to kind of clear, there's like big chunks of rock kind of lying around. There's people injured beneath that. There's kind of folk lying around. There's everyone that still can is trying to run from the square. And as it clears a bit more, there's kind of this dark shape in the area that's where the fireworks were kind of been let off. And you see this kind of the shape. It must be almost as big as one of the houses, but maybe the size of a small house. But it certainly seems huge in the square, and it's this kind of dark, kind of like ridged shape that's kind of seemingly come out of the ground. And you see it open its mouth, and like it looks like it's making a noise. And again, you don't hear it for a few seconds, but back on the ship you hear it just a little bit later. It's just this kind of like kind of like undulating like roar, and you see that it's the kind of dust clears a little bit more, and it's just starting to kind of like throw itself around the square.
And Sorin says, "It's a bullet. It's there. It's the size of a cart."
Soren, why do you do this to yourself? How is that going to help us? Why did you look back? There's a certain like not only a bliss in ignorance, but like it will benefit you more to have not known that, because now you're just going to be grief struck this entire trip.
And Sorin's still watching.
And Errol's a little tipsy, and he's going to take another sip from this flask.
I'll say at this point, like you can all hear like very faint like yells and screams and just kind of a bit of. It's not like the whole town's like falling apart, but it's just like there's a bit of trouble. Obviously, you can hear some screams. You can hear some signs of a bit of an issue.
And Errol takes another sip.
Peter, I don't know how you want to end it, but like I'd imagine that you kind of, as the ship's kind of moving further away, it's kind of stretching the limit of the range of the spell, and maybe it would be something like you see, and it starts to kind of switch between like sight and sound without you kind of, as the kind of spell almost like glitches out, and it's kind of switching between black and all the screams and the noise, and then it cuts back to the sight, and then the sound drops, and it's kind of like flicking back between them until eventually it's just kind of black and silence.
And Soren sort of drops the glass eye into his lap, and his eyes come open, and he says something to the effect of, well, doesn't look like people are dying yet. It looks like they're getting out of there, which is a start.
You're
Phoebe,
the
sorry.
Consider the top. So no matter how many places will be there when we return.
And like Fabia like drops to her knees before Soren and just like hugs him. Just like buries her face in his shoulder.
And he puts a hand like on her hair and just says like, our people first, then their people.
And she mumbles into your shoulder, just says, our people.
And Errol's gonna be silent.
Well, the die has been cast. Might as well make the best out of things.
And Errol would say, "Die has been cast." That's a great line. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, there was I heard it from some gamblers in the tavern somewhere.
Yeah, the die has been cast, I suppose. Give us the flask.
And Errol would hand it over.
I think Fabia would grab it before Soren can get it. And have a drink herself, and then pass it to him.
Yeah, and Soren just like takes a deep swig of it, and then he pulls some dice out of his pack that are like, they look sort of like hand carved, like wooden dice, and he's got like a carved cup. And he's like, right, 5 gold, who's in?
Ooh, okay. I'm in.
Sure.
And Errol would take a little pouch attached to his belt that has some gold coins. Not all of his gold coins, but like, you know, his kind of pocket change. And set it on the floor of the ship.
You kind of jumped in and out a bit there, Gavin.
You put a small patch of gold on the deck of the ship, I think.
Yeah, so sorry, I couldn't even hear you guys talking to me. Yeah, I sit next to Soren and I kind of take my fanny pack out and set it down.
Cool.
And yeah, Soren is more like, kind of not slow about it, but like he's kind of counting out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold onto the deck. And then, yeah, we play some dice.
Cool. Who's got the biggest kind of passive perception for you guys?
Probably me, I'm +7.
I think I'm like -2.
So my passive perception is 17.
17. I think that'll be the highest. For just you kind of trying to block out the sounds from the town, and you hear that every so often you're hearing the crew kind of can talk amongst themselves a little bit. It's mostly just kind of like, oh, like, talking about like what's going on in town and like, oh, did you hear that? Like, what do you think it is? Some of them are like, oh, I heard there's bullets, whatever, like that sort of chat. Up towards where the wheel of the ship is, the you hear someone kind of giving a report, by the sounds of it, giving a report to the captain, and he says, what does he say? He's just basically saying that the weather's looking clear from what he's seen, and the kind of he's saying that the like, I don't know, something like the what would they use to predict the weather? I don't know, like rats' entrails or something. But some kind of, he's like, all the signs are pointing to clear weather. It's in like, there's no like, there's no signs of anything. Sorry, just put this back on. Cool. There's no signs of any storms, anything to clear sailing. We should reach Cala in 2 days. So by the kind of the evening of the second day of travel, we should reach Cala. The captain he says something kind of quietly that you don't catch, but it seems like it's just a kind of standard kind of checking and report before the end of the night, and that it seems like you're all good to go for a 2-day journey south. So you guys are obviously thinking you've just woken up kind of a few hours ago, and so your daytime is the nighttime, and you'll probably sleep during the day.
No, I want to sleep again. I'm tired enough to sleep again.
Yeah. I was about to say, we've been up for like 7 days straight. I think I could probably go to sleep again.
Okay. You wouldn't get the benefits of a long rest until, let me see how this works. You would need to sleep. So you slept tonight. So it wouldn't be until like the following evening before you got everything back. But you could certainly sleep. There's nothing to stop you sleeping just now as well. But yeah, you can have a think about what you want to do on the journey, and kind of what you might do. But for now, let's play some dice games. Do you want to roll for some stuff? Roll for some coins?
Yeah, go on then. What should we roll?
I don't know. Just let's just do. I don't know, what dice do we never get to use? Like D12s or something fun. Just, I don't know, just everyone roll one, see who gets the highest, and that person gets some cash.
That's my favorite dice game.
Okay.
Got a solid 6.
I'll roll for Fabia.
Oh, I got this as well. Oh, what does that mean?
That means roll off. I got an 11.
Oh,
So
Carthos?
I got a 5.
5. Oof. Fabia's cleaning up.
Errol would take another sip and then give Baby a dirty look as he pushes the money over to her.
Carter's got to take out his coins, hand them over, and then I got to take the flash ask from Arrow, taking his pick before handing it back.
Yeah, and Soren just slides 5 gold across the deck.
Yeah. Easy money.
She was basically whipping into his shoulder, so she's not very far away.
No, she's not. No, she's right there. Yeah, she's calmed down a bit. She's like your little chats just kind of got her to. It's like, yeah, the greater good and all that. Difficult, but she's putting on a brave face. Just trying to just get the time, pass the time. The further you go from the town, the better mood she seems to get in. She kind of pulls out of her pack some like trail rations, kind of like dried fruits and stuff like that, and passes them around. Shares them with everyone.
Remember the last time we were on a ship?
You mean like the rowboat on the way to the ship?
No, in the stairwell.
Oh yeah, that was a good. Karthos, you were so baller. I mean, I did also like, it was kind of half you, half me, really.
Yeah, Lee and I had no part in it. You're totally right. Might as well have not been there.
Where is Lee?
I don't know. I can... I can't really try and find him from here. I don't have anything. I could try and find some sign tomorrow, maybe. And by tomorrow, I mean...
Yeah.
After about 16 hours of sleep.
I mean, he was an odd fellow. Like, I think we can all agree on that, right? But I do miss him. And, like, he did some really crazy acrobatic stuff.
Yeah, knowing him, he's probably jumping between rooftops at this moment.
Saving falling babies, too, while he's at it. On fire. Doused in oil. And killing goblins and apologizing for it while he's at it, too.
Did you know him, Fabia?
She says that we met, but you guys left for Greypoint the first time. He seemed nice. I liked him. He had a darkness over him, but it didn't seem to scare me. It was strange.
He was strange around you,
though.
What was that?
I said he was strange around you, though.
He was. Now that you mention it, yeah, I don't know.
Never glanced twice at my face.
Yeah.
Women problem?
What was his background?
He was some sort of monk. And he shouted about some guy sometimes, I think. I don't remember the name. Do you remember the name, Errol?
No, he had like a master, right? But then like his master died. I don't know. I really like as soon as you started talking about that, my eyes kind of glazed over, to be honest with you.
He did talk about it a lot. He did talk about it one heck of a lot. Sorry, Karthos. I'm talking over you.
Oh, nothing. No, I guess he knew better than both me and Arrow.
Yeah, I suppose I did. suppose I did, although still not very well. I don't know. Yeah, there was some evil guy. That's around about all I remember. I'm afraid a lot's happened since then.
He was from the hills, right? Over by the mountain ridge or something.
That's certainly where I found him.
Yeah, I think you were, Soren, you were up like in the north. I don't think those mountains are actually shown on the map. They're like further up north of the marshes. Let me show my screen again. But
I think I would have found him by the old Dwarven Road.
yeah, correct. They're somewhere up that way, and that's also, I think, where Carthos grew up, in kind of a town further up that way. There's not much up that way, and you get kind of more and more mountainous until you get to like an impassable range, and then further up north is the city. In fact, I don't know if we've got a world map. Don't think it's ready yet. No. But further up north is the city Elam. So yeah. Yeah, Fabius says, do you think why do you think he would leave? Do you think he would, did he have allegiance with another group? I mean, he seemed to be close with you guys.
If he was with someone else, he never mentioned it. If I had to make your guess, I'd say if he found or saw something that pulled him away, he's always been a bit impulsive.
He certainly is flighty, and he's always come across as sincere. I don't see a reason to think he was hiding something. I mean, certainly he was hiding something from us, but I don't think he was hiding anything sinister from us. So it seems maybe he just, there was no signs of him being dragged away. It seems as though he just upped and ran into the night. Strange boy.
At least that suggests that he's okay.
I hope so.
I'm sure he's okay. He can really handle himself well.
He
He
can.
doesn't like to think it, but he's, probably the strongest out of all of us.
He's
very
a little
humble
bit
in
too
that way.
honest though sometimes. I hope he's not involving himself with too many people, put it that way.
That's true. I think the monastery wasn't very good for his social skills.
No. Says Soren, showing off his excellent social skills.
Yeah, I'm trying to say there's just so much there's so much story there that I don't want to. I want to like keep probing and saying things, but I don't want to.
We want like a nugget, but not the whole story.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. And Fabia's like not the one to pass it on either. So
Yeah. Suddenly an old monk appears.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
did you
that
mention
like Fabian.
Yeah, one of the deckhands just turns around. He's like, "Did you say Lee? Lee the monk?"
Lee Kageyami? I mean, I remember something from session like 1 from Lee talking to Fabia, and she was in a place, and that like triggered him, and he went and hid. Basically.
Yeah.
So there was, yeah. I don't know if Soren would remember the name of that place, but
yeah. Let me see if I can find the exact details of that. But I think that sounds right. That would have been session 2. That's when you met Fabia, I believe. Lee. Yeah, so she said that her tribe lived near. Yeah, that's right. So I had that kind of mixed up. So she said that to you that her people. So remember, Soren, your folk got kind of splintered off into all sorts of different places, and so you hadn't seen her for a long time. She went to northwards to like near to where Lee's where Lee's home was, and so when she said that that's where she was from, he recognized that place. It doesn't. I didn't think we don't know if we gave it a name, but certainly it was from up
I
near
thought there
where
was a
Lee
place
from.
beginning with an N, but I don't.
And the place where Lee's, I don't know if that got actually. Yeah, here we go. This is the name of the mountain range that Lee lives in, and that she lived near the ridges of the Amonith.
I don't think that's the
And
word I was remembering.
no, but that's kind of, she was saying the flames chased us that way. Yeah, and they'd survived there for years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So let me just see if there's anything else about this. Yeah, Atlee, do you remember something? I've got these like little like things that I was going to tell you guys about that.
About the
Do you know like an old lady that lives in Elam, where Carthos studied? Um,
not ringing a bell. It's been a long time.
Yeah, trying to find out what I would have actually told you about it, but I mean, I guess it wouldn't be crazy for that to come into his mind now, because you're kind of talking about where he was from and talking about that kind of region. There was someone he knew from Elam that she. I don't know if I feel like we agreed this before, but maybe not. But basically, she was like probably like a chef or something, where in a place where Carthos would go to regularly. So someone she knew, got to know fairly well over his time there. Yeah, no. So there's nothing there in the other chat. But basically, she was kind of like obviously not from around Elam. Elam's one of those places where you find folk from all over, but she was obviously not from there. She was a good chef, and like cooked this like amazing food that you couldn't find anywhere else, and so that's why you kind of went there regularly. But you know that she came from a place in the mountains to the south of the city, which is and that like so she used to be part of like a clan. And she used to always just kind of, as she was kind of cooking the food, she would always tell tales of like that way of life that she had, and it was always kind of like she talked about like yeah, just like a very kind of grounded kind of life. They talk about like darkness and shadow as like a means of meditation, things like that, and kind of controlling your mind and your body, and kind of as you kind of probably are hungry, and so you're thinking of food, and maybe that thought into Carthos's mind that this woman was perhaps from the same place as Lee, this woman that used to know. That's a very small link, but
That's great, That sounds familiar to this one cook a new bacillion. Maybe we should, yeah, the way she spoke upon reflections seems connected to some Lee's abilities. If you have spare time after all of this druid business, we could maybe seek around.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could definitely do with chasing up on the kid, making sure he's okay. But yeah, I mean, I've dragged you a hell of a long way out of your way to come here, so wherever you want me to go next, I'm all in.
To be honest, I don't know where I'm going next. Just to be on the move, I always good enough for me.
Yeah. Maybe there's a brilliant brewery in the far south. Hey, Karthos.
Sorry, what did you say?
And maybe there's a brilliant brewery in the far south.
Oh.
Maybe there's a famous distillery.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe we can buy a keg or three there.
Yeah, and the rest.
Okay.
Whatever,
Oh, sorry.
whatever we do, we can hopefully do it again.
I think Errol would awkwardly just mention that he doesn't think there would be one.
And Carter says, well, there must be something, right? I hear even prisoners make their own booze.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something, but you know. And Errol would after kind of crapping all over Lee for not having good social skills, show how poor his social skills are. By obnoxiously just mentioning ooh, ice fight planes. I don't think there's any breweries down there, you know.
Yeah,
Well, whatever you find out there, I would say you.
lost you there, Karthos.
Hmm?
I just didn't know what you said.
You didn't hear what I said. Whatever we find down south, yeah, we can use it to give a toast to Lee.
He isn't dead. At least I hope
No,
not.
but no, I can't toast to Lee with people.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we can toast him. Let's go to bed.
It's going to be a long trip, and I'm not sure I want to know what awaits us on the other end.
Yeah, well, also, I don't want us to stay up rabbiting about Lee all night.
Yeah, let's enjoy the moment of sleep we can get.
And I guess we would go to the quarterdeck and ask the captain where we can sleep.
So he, as you kind of go up the steps, he doesn't kind of show any sign of registering that you guys are there. Someone kind of steps over to intercept you. Says where are you going?
To ask the captain something?
What do you need?
to know where we're quartered?
He laughs at that, and there's a few others that laugh. You can go down to the hold. You're not sleeping here on deck, and there's certainly no space for you in the place where everyone else is sleeping that I don't know the name of. But he says you can go down to the hold if you want, but stay out of our way.
Thank you. And Errol would kind of pull on Karthos and Soren.
All right then. Yeah, I'm gonna head down into the hold and find a bag of gunpowder or something to sleep on.
Yeah, you get down there, and again, it's kind of like it's not like a total mess. There's like there's like the usual stuff, like a lot of empty crates, a lot of like rolls of like spare sailcloth and stuff like that. You could probably make it like semi-comfortable, but there's like a little bit of like water in the bottom of the like you're right down the bottom of the ship. There's a little bit of water kind of sloshing around. You see there's like a couple of strange things in there. There's like a really nice like desk that really good quality, like solid, like I don't know, oak, dark wood, like finely carved desk that kind of seems out of place, just kind of placed down there. A couple of things like a nice chair, a few bits of furniture that seem quite nice.
I guess. Is there a chair by the desk?
Wait, what do you do, Karthos?
Sorry, out of character, is there a chair by the desk?
What was that? I missed that again.
Is there a chair by the desk?
Oh yeah. So yeah, the chair, you kind of see there's a chair that kind of matches the style of it. Yeah.
Okay.
And as soon as you look at the chair, Errol yells out, "I call the chair."
Carl says, "Fine, I'll lay on the desk then."
And I think in almost a childlike way, Errol would like dash towards the chair to claim it.
I mean, Soren and Fabia don't really need to sleep, and I think Soren's used to meditating seated, so he sort of sits on the rough ground and on the wooden boards, and yeah, he's still aware, but he just goes like blank.
Carl just takes his backpack on the desk, props the top of it, and puts his hat on the back and starts going to sleep.
Is the chair as nice as the desk? Like, is this like a Herman Miller?
I don't know what that is, but yes, they're both super nice. It's like the chair's like it's like almost a throne, like it's got nice big arms and nice and comfortable. It's got like velvet back and seat.
Sorry, I forgot my push talk button. Yeah, I'm definitely taking that and just slumping over and falling asleep.
Cool. Okay. Fabia kind of finds a spot like by some old like empty sacks or something, just kind of pulls together a few things and lays down with her pack. You see she just lies there for a while, her eyes open. She doesn't look like she's going to get much sleep or meditation. So let's just say we pass the evening. and you guys are obviously hoping to, largely rest for much of the following day. I think is the sound of the plan.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was my
How much-
plan, yeah. Till we can actually have had a long rest.
Sure. Okay. How much longer can you guys stay tonight to play? It's 20 to 11 now.
I mean, I don't mind particularly, but I'm past my bedtime already. So
Yeah. Okay. There's a point not too long away. It's like just after you've got your rest, into the next evening, that would be a good stopping point. So we can maybe just keep going till there if that's okay.
Okay.
So first of all, just get the map up just to get my timings right. So that's 2 days. That'd be, yeah. Oh, that's. So yeah. Is there anything that you would be doing during the day then? I mean, you can still take your rest, obviously. It's just, but you don't have to be sleeping the whole time.
I guess to pass the time, Carter was kind of cast a minor illusion of the ship while examining the ship to make the small illusion more and more convincing as a kind of way to amuse himself.
Cool. Yeah, so are you like out on deck to do that, or would you be?
Yeah, I guess on the deck, just kind of Harry holding in his hand while kind of slowly exploring the ship's adding details.
Cool. You see, like, oh, sorry, go on. We didn't catch that. I think we need to get you to repeat that.
Oh, sorry. I think Errol would probably take out a candle from his pack and maybe just kind of write some journal entries down below deck at that nice desk.
Cool. Okay. Fabia would, I think, unless she was prompted to, I think she would stay down below for the most part, kind of meditating, kind of doing some kind of small small pieces of magic to just kind of like prestidigitation, kind of, keeping herself clean, kind of thing, and just kind of rearranging her pack, that kind of thing, just kind of passing the time.
I like to imagine she blows out my candle on accident sometimes
Yeah.
using her magic, and I'm like, Fabia, please, I'm running out of matches.
And she'll kind of like click her fingers to relight the flame for you.
Thank you. And I continue writing and sketching some things.
Yeah. And Soren?
Soren is working out what spells he might need.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
That could be in character as well as out of character. So excellent.
Yeah. Can be. Just sitting there in the corner. Should I take? Do I need to kill anyone today? That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. I just wanted to would what I'll say is that while Carthos, while you are up on deck, you're the ship's kind of moved out to sea far enough that you can just about see the land, and you kind of you see something in the distance in landward that looks like a tall tower, and you kind of put two and two together and recognize that that's probably Ontalia, the lighthouse. And that you've been there before, obviously, so you've already passed Eagle at some point during the day, and you're now kind of, as you come into like mid-afternoon, kind of towards early evening, you can see Ontalia in the distance.
I think Carter was stopping us at the kind of What was the lighthouse before involuntary shivering?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's perception, you say?
Perception, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a straight D20 then.
Oh no.
13.
13, not bad. You think you see you see the lighthouse obviously, and you're just trying to see if you can make out the details. You're remembering where the ship was, the Black Bounty, when you rode to shore with the pirates to kind of investigate what was going on. Because they were part of that whole mutiny thing. But you'd swear that the landscape around the lighthouse has kind of changed slightly. You're not sure it's just the angle you're looking from, but there's it just seems like there's I don't know, just the land's kind of raised up on and been almost it's like been re-landscaped somehow. It's really hard to tell from the distance and from that roll, but you just get the sense that something's a bit strange, and you don't know if it's you're down to tired eyes or what, but it just kind of catches your attention.
Carson says cat out the house to herself before going below the island. Guys, remember that lighthouse?
I remember the lighthouse.
Well, it's only coming back because something seems different about it. I'm not sure what.
Sounds like a task for Soren.
Sorry, what's the task for Soren?
I just need a second pair of eyes to confirm whether something is different about it or not.
I'll have a look. I have a look. Do I want to roll a perception or what? You mean
Sorry,
to
I was
say?
muted. Yeah. Perception, please.
Oh, not good. 9.
9. Yeah, I mean it looks pretty much the same as far as you can see, and maybe there's a little bit of a difference, but it's hard to tell from the distance and perspectives and things. But yeah, it doesn't look too different.
Seems fine, Karthos.
Must be nothing.
Can't shake the feeling that something's different though.
And I guess Errol would look at it at this point.
Okay, you can roll as well.
Sorry, this trackpad's really annoying, and I'm going through 5 different pages to figure out. I got 13.
13. Yeah, I mean you get that similar sense that something's up, but you can't really make out what. It just seems like I don't know, you're all just kind of peering at this lighthouse, and it's almost like you're trying to see something that's wrong with it, and you're not sure if you're making something up in your head or if it's actually something you're seeing. But it just seemed like the land has kind of changed around it somehow.
Yeah, I'd probably or Errol would probably just be like, yeah, I kind of see what you mean, but I think it's just because we're out here on this boat, It's a lot different being in something than to look at it from such a distance.
I guess it doesn't matter much either way.
Okay. As kind of evening falls back in, you guys can take your rest, and so you rested. Yeah, you rested all day, and you kind of finished your rest at like, early evening time. So by evening time again, that's you kind of fully rested up, and as the sun kind of drops down below the horizon, you are fully rested and you feel much better. Where do you, as kind of the sun goes down and the evening, like the moons start to kind of come up into the sky, where are you guys? What are you guys doing?
I think at this point, Earl's kind of, he's not necessarily bored with, he's bored with what he was doing on pen and paper, and he's probably just like playing around with one of his small pocket knives and stuff, and maybe just kind of looking through the drawers of the desk, not really doing it for any reason in particular, but just kind of out of boredom.
Yeah, I think Carthos would be kind of lying on the floor, holding the tome above him as he's studying it.
And Soren is brooding.
Cool. Okay, no, that's all awesome. Errol doesn't find anything in the desk. It's empty. It's like it's been emptied out before it was put down there. So that's fine. So you're all down there. So evening passes. You see, I don't think there'll be a window there, but you just kind of time passes, and you kind of know that we've gone into night proper now, into darkness. You at some point you hear. So this is the second night. So you're kind of maybe midway or so. Yeah, probably midway. So, but all it is you once you get through this night, and then by the end of the following day, you'll be in Kala. You hear some like the sound of like a few feet, like boots, kind of running a little bit on deck. It's kind of, it's not something that's completely alien, but it's kind of sounds a little bit jarring on this particular journey where everything seems calm and controlled. Just once and then kind of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have a look, I think. I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's fine. You go up and kind of as you're making your way up, someone, one of the crew members kind of pushes past you on the steps and hurries up onto deck. Fabius stays down below. You get onto deck and there's a bit of a gathering kind of on the side that's looking west, so that would be the right hand side, which would be whatever the right hand side's called. You see there's a few folk kind of gathered on that side against the handrail. There's like folk murmuring, and you kind of look out to see it's like dark, so they've kind of dimmed the lanterns on the ship. There's like one right at the front and a couple at the back, but kind of some kind of hooded on deck that just kind of light the way you're going. And you kind of look out to sea in the darkness, and it's obviously pitch black. You're not sure what the situation is, but as you're watching, there's a kind of lightning that's like far out to the west, out to sea, and that sea. Everyone knows that sea is endless, and there's nothing out there. It just kind of continues it forever and ever. That's Vesi's domain of endless water. But you see, if miles and miles out, you see a flash of lightning. But the kind of lightning lights up like this kind of knotted kind of tangle of clouds, and it's like You just see it for like an instant, but it's like a column, like that's kind of twisting and reaching up into the sky. And as you kind of notice it, the ship kind of just rocks once, kind of like shifts slightly and kind of rights itself. And there's a barrel that kind of that kind of topples over and kind of rolls across deck and settles as the boat kind of rights itself again.
Is that normal? Someone
Um,
asks.
Yeah, and for like the first time since anyone, since you kind of tried to interact with folk maybe before, but they've not really taken you on. But for the first time, they're not really noticing that it's you asking the question. There's kind of like in like a low voice, someone replies. It's like this grizzled guy. He's kind of looks like he's like stick thin and kind of like the only kind of is like it's all elbows and knees. And kind of got like a roughly shaven beard, kind of white hair. He says, "It's strange on a cam sea it is." And he's kind of just like he's kind of watching. There's kind of a few voices, a few more folk join the group that's looking out there. You hear a voice from the quarter deck. You kind of look over and Barnack Lynn's there. He's kind of watching, but kind of making sure he keeps an eye on the ship. He says, "Keep the course steady. Let's get eyes up there." And immediately, one of the crew starts to kind of scamper up the rigging up to the crow's nest.
I'm holding myself in reserve to see where I can help, because I think I can probably help, but I don't know how or where yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Carstens will appear a bit closer and but try to study the phenomenon to see if he had any understanding of it.
Yeah, so you guys would certainly feel that initial. It'd probably like knock over your candle, maybe, Errol, and maybe disturb your tome, things like that. But certainly noticeable down there.
Yeah, I think Errol would go up there after a little while after not seeing Soren return.
Cool. So if you go up there, you see the kind of the gathering of folk, and Soren kind of taller than most of them, standing there as well. As you kind of look, there's like another kind of more flashes of lightning in that direction, and you guys all can see that same kind of column. Seems like it's like on the horizon, but it just seems incredibly huge, just kind of thick and far away and massive, and just kind of like just in the brief flash that you see, it's kind of like twisting up into the sky. But there's something approaching the ship, and it kind of like looks like it's just like this. It's almost like the horizon's kind of risen a little bit. It's like the horizon's rising. It's kind of as you're watching, there's kind of more kind of flashes of lightning, and it just looks like there's this kind of like almost a wall of like rain and lightning kind of like rolling its way towards the ship. Some of the crew are just like, what is that? And they're kind of like looking towards this westward kind of horizon.
Is this magic? Karthos?
I would think so, but can I make an Arcana check or?
Yeah, make an Arcana check. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. 8.
You can't tell. I mean, you know enough about magic to know that there's weather manipulation and things like that. The lightning certainly appears to be something that could be magical. It seems from like nature expert, but it appears more like less chaotic than lightning you might expect it to be. But yeah, you can't really put any kind of arcane knowledge to good use.
Karst's got this guy's disappearing. I mean, I find it more likely than not that this is some mathematical interference, but what it is, I don't know. Maybe it's clerical or druidic.
I wouldn't know about those things. I'm
And
keeping
then
my eyes on.
Errol,
Sorry, go
Errol
on.
would
Will.
blurt out, "My papers," and then like rush back down to like put his papers away and stuff, and pack them all up and all that.
And so it is like, like on his toes, like, and his eyes on the captain. Like, I want to see. I've forgotten the captain's name now, but I want to see where his attention is and what he's like barnagling. Yeah, like, is he concerned about the guy in the crow's nest? Like, is he looking at the weather? Or is he just looking straight ahead? Is he struggling with anything?
Yeah, he's like, from what you've seen over the last like day or so from when you first met him, he's like extremely like laid back and extremely like nothing really phases him. Everything that you've seen him deal with so far has just been done with like a barely like an change of expression on his face. So he's like posture, that's him kind of like just one hand on the wheel, but his eyes are kind of like darting between like the guy that's climbing up to the crow's nest. He's kind of reaches up to the top of the crow's nest there, and kind of like glancing out to the west, like kind of almost like nonchalantly, but he's glancing over there quite a lot. He's kind of looking to the east as well, and kind of behind him, but he's not like he doesn't appear like overly concerned at this point.
If nobody stops me, I'm climbing the crow's nest.
Yep, sure. No, that's go ahead. You can climb up there. Start to climb up. Errol, I take it you come back up once you've got your papers.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So as you kind of come back up, there's like most of the crew are up on deck now. There's another kind of a few more lights, smaller kind of lightning flashes, and all the guys, they're kind of the press of the crowd's kind of up against that handrail, and there's a large flash of lightning, like from that column way to the west, and almost at once the entire crew kind of takes an involuntary kind of step back, as if they've been like literally shocked by the rails. And it's because they could see something illuminated by the brief light of the storms. Like it looks like it's like the epicenter of the storm, that kind of rising kind of column. But they see something that would make any sailor's blood drain. They see, and you guys see it too, Soren kind of halfway climbing up, you see this flash and look over. You see tentacles, huge tentacles, thick enough to engulf a house, like long enough that they look like they're reaching into the sky, and they are sprouting out of Vessi's ocean as you watch. Just immensely huge, and you know that is the horizon, and they're still so massive. But it seems like the tentacles are in conflict with something. Like it seemed to be this kind of conflict going on, but you can't really make it out from this distance. It's something small, and it's something blue. And as they kind of the crew kind of react to what they've just seen, there's this one sailor, that old guy that you had spoken to, Soren. You see him just kind of blood kind of drained from his already pale face, and he's kind of backing away from the railing, ignoring kind of anyone he bumps into, and he's like clutching at something around his neck, and he's mumbling, "Vessi, guide me to shore. Vessi, guide me to shore. Vessi, guide me to shore." And then reaches the far side of the ship and just throws himself over into the water. And I think we'll leave it there at that exact.
Dude, do you remember at the start of this campaign, Craig made us get on a boat, and I said, "You don't get on a boat. There's a kraken." Here's the kraken. I told you 20 sessions ago there was going to be a kraken.
It has been foretold. It was even mentioned earlier in this session as well. But it is miles away. Just so you don't have to like get ready to fight that.
Well,
thing
if we have
quite
to fight
yet,
a kraken, you'll be pleased to know I've taken the spells Create or Destroy Water, Detect Good and Evil, Detect Poison and Disease, and Water Walk, all of which are going to be extremely useful.
I'm sure. You'll know that it's evil just as it destroys your ship.
Yes.
But yeah, I was looking at like doing some interesting research on how far you can see it on the ocean, and it's about like 3 miles or so, but it's because of the curve of the Earth that you can't see, forever. But I was thinking, in this world, is there even a curved Earth? And probably not, because it's like an endless sea. So, I was trying to figure out how far away it'd be, but I figured like kind of 4 or 5 miles, or yeah, something like that, like maybe 3 miles, 3-4 miles, but like a long, long, long way away, but far enough that the fact that you can even see it is like terrifying. And yeah, it's obviously something going on over there. We'll pick that up next time.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the session.
Thank you, Craig.
Did we say we're going to play next Monday too?
I think so. If you guys can do that.
If Carthus is free, or if Atlee's free. I'm calling you by your character name.
Yeah. The issue this time was, I had to put shift, but there won't be a problem next week because the store will have closed down, so that's a plus.
Oh, that's a plus, a small plus.
Every cloud, I suppose.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm pleased your store is closing down, so I can play one game on a Monday night.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Enjoy
to sleep,
the rest
folks.
of your holiday and sleep. Yeah.
I'll upload the YouTube video tomorrow.